Welcome Sagittarius and Sagittarius Crosswatchers to your February 2023 singles love read. So we're going to get a card for where you are, where you're headed, and what you need to know. It's funny, the Two of Pentacles came out on the pre-shuffle. And then we're also going to get, from this deck, the next love interest for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, and that's going to be time-stamped in the description box below. So for those of you that are new here, welcome. So I guess we're going to get right into it here, Sag. I mean, look at this. We have the Nine of Pentacles with the Empress at the bottom of the deck. So the Nine of Pentacles obviously talks about that pre-Empress energy. I almost want to be like, if I was sassy, like, Sag has got it going on. Because I feel like whatever it is that you are doing, I feel like to a certain extent you may be feeling pretty good. It's like you feel like you're kind of almost there. And I feel like over the month of February, you actually seem to be heading, I almost want to say, it might feel like you're heading backwards. But it's like one of those things where I feel like to a certain extent, you're in this Nine of Pentacles energy, that very, and again, please don't get too hung up on what's depicted on the cards here, right? That pre-Empress energy is, it's like somebody that not has it all, but somebody that comes across as someone that is in a position to receive it all, if that makes sense. And I feel like what's coming up for you here is actually that you may be feeling a little bit out of sorts. You may be feeling a little bit off balance, off kilter. It's almost like, I almost want to say that, like, you might be looking around like, is Mercury in retrograde? Is it a full moon? Is something happening that's making me feel a little off? Because I feel like it almost feels like you may think that, but I feel to a certain extent it's like internally you're not having that experience. I feel like there's a message here that it's actually more like a collective kind of energy that you might be in. That's why it doesn't feel right. That's why it feels like you're just kind of, I want to say, like, not that you're going through the motions, but it almost feels like, I don't know how to describe it. Hold on for a second. It feels like you're in an energy that's not yours. It feels like, it's almost like you may be saying or doing things, or things may be happening in your life that don't usually happen. And I feel like there's a message here that it's almost like I feel like it's not about you. I want to say, like, I feel like you're going to have a couple of choices, but it's like, number one, you want them both, and you need to decide which one you want more. And I feel like number two, there actually may be an option here that is kind of presented to you. And I actually feel like to a certain extent, you may kind of be looking at it like, well, why would I need that in my life? You know what I mean? As, you know, what you don't know yet, or what's kind of hidden from you, is the Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Cups reversed. So the Seven of Cups usually talks about having some options. Sometimes it can talk about being a teacher, or needing to make a decision. And I feel like this, okay, going back to this energy of like feeling that you may have a couple of options, but you want them both and that sort of thing. I actually feel that some of you, maybe not all of you, but some of you actually may be looking at something that's being offered to you here, and it just doesn't seem that appealing. It's almost like you have to kind of let somebody down easy here. I feel like you are in a position where it's like, I almost want to say some of you might be feeling like you're left out in the cold a little bit, but it's not quite that, you know? It actually feels more that it's like you might be left out in the cold, but you're actually pretty happy there. You know what I mean? It's like whatever options are on offer, or what everybody else is doing, it's like other people might be pining after being a part of that, and you're over here like, no, no, I'm good. I'm good. So I think we're going to pull a clarifier on this Two of Pentacles here. Let's see. So we have we have the Ace of Swords, but the Nine of Wands came out reversed just because of how they fell. So it actually feels like you're seeing something really, really clearly here. And it just feels like, it's like you're not going to be touching that with a 10-foot clown pole. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to take a sip of my coffee here. Excuse me. It feels like you're looking at it like you see the truth of the situation. You're not looking to get yourself in a position where it's almost like you feel that if you move towards something, it's like you might have to give up a couple of things that you have. And I feel to a certain extent that it's like it's really up to you. But it feels like one of the options here may put you in a place where you feel like you don't have options, where you feel like you don't have a choice. I actually feel like there may be a situation that's coming up, and I don't want to be foreboding or anything, but it does feel that if you make a decision to give up something that it's like if you throw caution to the wind here and you jump for something, I'm kind of feeling that it might not be what you think it is, and it's like, and then you lose the options that you have. You know what I mean? So can we get a clarifier on this Nine of Pentacles? Ten of Cups. I mean, the Ten of Cups talks about that emotional fulfillment, not just within yourself, but within a happy family, right? So I feel to a certain extent, now this may not be the actual situation, right? It's the energetics of it. I feel like you may have been in an energy where you were like, I'm holding out for the one that I want, the kind of life that I want, the career that I want, whatever it is that you're making a decision about. You held out for what you really wanted. And I feel like in the meantime, things really seem to come together to you, but I feel to a certain extent there's things that, it's almost that energy of like you have everything, but you don't have love, and it's giving you this feeling of like a little bit of emptiness almost. Now that's not to say that you have everything, right? But you know what I mean. You actually have built more than I feel like you realized. It's just like they're still in the growing stages, so it's like you can't quite harvest them yet. That might be why you're feeling a little bit, doesn't feel at all that you're getting that like imposter fraud sort of energy coming off of you. It's really more like you're in that phase of life, or in this, whatever it is that you're working towards, where like you're just putting in the work. You know what I mean? It's like you've had the idea, you put it into motion. Now you're doing the part, where if ever you've seen that movie Rocky, where like they're doing the montage of him running and training and doing all this stuff. It's like you're in that sort of phase right now. And it does feel like you're still in this kind of empress boss sort of energy. But to a certain extent, there's a little bit of an empty feeling here. So it's like you may know that you're in this Nine of Pentacles, but it might feel like you're in the Two of Pentacles really soon, because I feel like you're going to see that somebody else, it's almost this energy of like, well, if everyone else has found somebody, or if everyone else is further along in their career, why aren't I? And I actually feel like you're going to see something really freaking clearly here. I feel like you're going to see something that's going to make you be like, oh, I'm almost feeling like I want to back away with force. You know what I mean? It's one of those moments where it's like, almost like you're chatting to somebody, and then they say something that's so like, whoa. I'm hearing that it might even be like really bigoted, if you will. Something that's actually like pretty abhorrent to say. You know what I mean? It's like this person might seem, or this option, because of course if it's a career sort of thing, it's like it might seem really great on the outside, and then you get into it and you're like, oh my gosh, this person's like a neo-Niza, or like it feels like it's something that's really bad. It just feels like I feel like you know, obviously get out of Dodge pretty quickly, but I feel like when you see what's really happened, I feel like you're so grateful that you've dodged whatever BULLET has come your way, because it's like, it's almost this energy of, this is just the energetics of it, right? So it's like, you were in this Nine of Pentacles energy. I'm just trying to make sure you have no glare on there. So you're in this Nine of Pentacles energy. You've got all this stuff kind of on the go. And then you kind of take a step towards something, feeling like, okay, well, you know, I have these things, these irons in the fire, but I really only have a couple to present right now. And I feel like then when you see what's really going on here, you're like, oh God, I'm not giving you any of my pentacles. You know, it's like, get the F out sort of thing. It just feels like you see this option for what it is, and it's like, you cannot get out of there fast enough. You know what I mean? I feel like you know, handle yourself pretty well. It's not like you're running and, you know, for the hills like you're afraid, but I do feel to a certain extent that whatever this is, it does fall pretty flat. And it does seem like there's definitely some disappointment that I'm picking up from you, because I feel like you're looking at it like, damn it. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe you thought that you met someone that like, oh, they seem to, you know, we seem to have a lot of similarities. And then you get to know them and they're actually like a really hateful person. And it's like, they don't want to sit there and have a conversation about something interesting. They want to sit there and talk about everybody. And they want to talk about how this person is this and that person's that. And it's like, they just want to knock everybody. For example, if ever you've been like people watching, which I'm not trying to be creepy or anything, people watching, the way I understand it, so please take this as it resonates. It's when you kind of go to a park or something and you just kind of enjoy being around people and looking at them interact with each other, right? And so it's like, you may do that to kind of study and enjoy people, whereas I feel like this person, it's like they just want to pick everybody apart. And like make fun of everybody and laugh at everybody, and it's like they just kind of want to giggle like they have this big secret with you, knowing that it's going to make people feel uncomfortable. It's like they just are all sorts of nothing that you want. And that's not me saying that to you. That's not the cards telling you that. That's the energy I'm picking up from you when you see what this person's really about. So is there anything else on this Five of Swords? Oh yeah, I don't think you want to get on this person's bad side. And again, that's not me like foreboding or the cards foreboding. It's this energy of like, you don't really want to get on this person's bad side, but you don't want to be involved with them either. I feel like you see this person as, it's almost like if the two of you were in a fencing match or something, it's like they'd be there with a real sword. You know what I mean? They seem to fight dirty. And it's almost like they'll fight dirty, and then if they get in there and they get you, then they'll laugh at you for having been weak enough to let them do it. You know what I mean? It's just a really, again, I'm not trying to be a jerk here. They just don't really seem like a very good person. So, we're just going to grab the cards for, I'm going to do this on my leg to the side because I know that it's really loud. Otherwise, if that's too loud, please let me know, guys. I did pre-shuffle. I just feel like I need to shuffle them again. And dropping them on the floor. Sorry if that's too loud, guys. One more and then we'll get to shuffling. I'm just going to note the time there. Okay. So, next person, the next love interest, I do want to say, okay, it's the next love interest that's on its way. It doesn't mean necessarily that you want them or you don't. It's just the next person that's interested in you. So, for those of you with your sun in Sagittarius, we have the Six of Pentacles. The King of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So, this Six of Pentacles usually talks about somebody that is quite balanced. But today I'm kind of getting a little bit of like a miser. I'm feeling for some of you that it's like this person may not be in contact with their certain members of their family or their kids or something. It's like there's something here that I feel like it's almost like a Scrooge sort of energy that I'm picking up from them. Sorry, they're just, a window is in front of my vision here. Sorry about that. I feel like you don't have a whole lot of respect for this person. You know what I mean? It's like somebody could be legitimately asking for their help and something that it's like it would be just a phone call for them, and they're like, no, 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 no. And they go back in their house and they start counting their coin again. I feel like to a certain extent, but I feel like this is somebody that actually may have a lot of money, but it's like, number one, I feel like they may not tell a whole lot of people about it. And number two, it's like, they just seem to not have a whole lot of compassion. I feel like they might be somebody, and that's not to, pass judgment on this person. Maybe they've been in situations where they've had to work really hard for what they have, and they don't want to share it with anybody, and nobody can force them to do anything. It does feel like if this is somebody that has had some really tough times in their life, I feel like they're looking at people that are going through tough times with disgust. You know what I mean? It's like they seem to have this really judgmental attitude about people that have been in, that are in similar situations that this person may have been in. It's possible that it's like maybe somebody close to them has been in a very tough financial situation, and it's like they were disgusted with that person. And so anybody that's going through a challenging time when it comes to that sort of thing, it's like it's like they automatically write that person off. They act like they're, because they compare the current person going through a tough time to whoever was in their past. You know what I mean? And it's like as soon as they get kind of a whiff of that, I feel like they go and safeguard themselves. So I think we're going to pull just a clarifier for like, I almost want to say, not what transpires here necessarily, because obviously that's up to you. But it's kind of like what draws this person to you or how they feel about you. So we have the King of Pentacles and Four of Swords to clarify that. I mean, for somebody that struggles to be respectful to people, I actually feel they have a really healthy respect for you. They seem to see you as somebody that has a very similar energy. I feel like to a certain extent, see, this is where, don't be mad, okay? I feel like they may see you initially as, it's like you're good, but not quite good enough for them. You know what I mean? It's like they see you as this King of Pentacles, but they're looking at it like, okay, well, yeah, they're that King of Pentacles, but can they stay that way? Are they going to mess up my thing? Are they going to this? Are they going to that? And it's like this person seems to want to observe you. I feel for a lot of you, it could be from a distance for a while. It's like they might be paying attention to your spending habits. And I feel to a certain extent, this may not be for everybody, but the energy is pretty prickly. Some of you, this person may, it's like they get interested in you. You might kind of feel them coming towards you. And then I feel like they actually kind of, it's not so much getting cold feet. It's almost like they kind of get distracted by the almighty dollar. And I feel to a certain extent, I mean, of course it'll be different for everybody. It's like this person either is going to take forever to get to you, or they won't come to you until they see that you haven't, enough for them to be interested in. And listen, excuse me, it's not to knock this person. They seem to have an attitude where they don't want to get involved with someone that doesn't have something going on themselves, right? Which, of course, we all want somebody that is, has their own sort of life, right? I just feel like to a certain extent, this person, it's like when they disconnect from people or they cut people off, it's like they turn to their money. And they start, they kind of it's almost like you might notice when this person, excuse me, or people that they work with might notice, because it's like they start to nickel and dime everybody. They start to get a little bit ridiculous about it. Whereas it's like micromanaging some things. And I feel like it's almost like they might use that kind of miserly energy to draw you in, thinking that that's going to attract you. So I'm just going to note the time, just so that for the timestamps. So for those of you with your moon in Sagittarius moon, Sagittarius moon is the next person. I'm feeling like that might be loud for you guys, so I'm just going to do it over here. Sagittarius moon. Let me know if it's too loud. I'll see if I can do something about that. Sagittarius moon. Oh, wow. So we have the Knight of Cups. I feel like this is somebody that they do seem to be a certain distance away from you. It does feel like this person might be coming in for some attention. That doesn't mean that that's all that they want, but that's kind of the first thing that I'm seeing. I feel like this person might be somebody that, I mean, obviously they want your attention, but it's kind of like there's something here that I almost want to say that they're not being entirely honest about. It's like they might act like they're available, but I feel like they're not. And that's not because necessarily they're like betrothed or involved with somebody else. It's just more like they're coming in for attention. They're not really coming in to have a connection, like a reciprocal sort of thing. It's like they seem to like to have people in different places that give them attention, and not even like in a full-blown sort of relationship, or maybe not even in a physical sense, right? It's like they just like to be admired. So what's the deal? What does this person really want with Sag? Oh, there's the Seven of Swords, yeah. So, the tarot just asked me if it stuttered. Because, what do they want? Yeah, they definitely, I feel to a certain extent, this person actually is used to attracting people with this, like, devil-may-care sort of carefree, fly-by-night, very lighthearted sort of energy. But I actually feel to a certain extent what they're hiding is, it kind of feels like they may want more. It's almost like it's that energy of maybe they've enjoyed kind of, lighter relationships in the past, but it feels to a certain extent that they've kind of become empty for this person, and it's almost like they don't feel like anybody actually sees them because the relationships are at face value. So it's like they want to feel seen, they want to feel heard, they want someone to wake up with in the morning. You know what I mean? And not just, someone that wakes up and or, that person might be gone. Obviously, it's, I'm hearing that, like, their words, not mine. They kind of want to do all those, like, dorky couple things that they thought were silly in the past. You know what I mean? It's like they want to do couples costumes, or and I'm not saying that that's dorky. I'm not trying to pass judgment. I feel like this person's attitude may have been that sort of stuff was like a waste of time. And I feel like now they're looking at it like, oh, you know what? That would actually be really fulfilling. How does this person feel about that? I feel like they're nervous, excuse me, but it does seem like this person wants to put the work in. It's like, it's almost like it's the first time that they've wanted. Again, it may just be the energetics of the situation, right? But it feels like this might be somebody that it's like the first time they've wanted, a real relationship. And I want to say, like, so you might see, sorry, I'm just going to light my sage here. You might see a bit of, like, inconsistent behavior. So it's like one day they might seem like they're really lighthearted and they want to do this, and they they seem to want to spend a lot of that lighthearted energy on you. And then there's other times where it's like they're hard to get a hold of. They might not be they might kind of kick into that Knight of Cups energy that is, a little bit reliable. It's almost like as they're making that change, the relationship that they may be in or the connections that they're in, it's like they're, because they want something, but they're still kind of cutting off the ties of the kind of connections that they had before. Not that they're, involved with other people or anything like that. That may be the case. I'm not feeling that either way. I'm not describing this, so I'm going to start that sentence over again. Okay. This person genuinely wants a real connection. I feel like they need to kind of get themselves out of the habit of not answering people and not doing this and not doing that. You know what I mean? So, for those of you, I'm just going to do it over here a little bit, with your Sagittarius, or rising Sagittarius. Page of Cups, 2 wands at the bottom of the deck. So, the Page of Cups usually talks about, like, an apology, a sort of thing, but it doesn't feel, like it's someone from the past. It actually feels like it's somebody that's a little bit conceited. I feel like they may have a certain amount of, stuff or belongings, and they seem to think that gives them a certain type of maturity level, when it's like they think that they have a lot more. Oh, I'm just realizing I didn't put the timestamp. Sorry, 1 second. I feel like they seem to feel that they have a lot more life experience than they do, because they have more stuff or they have more things, or it's almost the energy of like maybe this person has been through some stuff in their life, and maybe they have kind of, how do I say this? Maybe they have really had a lot of experiences that would give the average bear a lot of maturity, but I feel like it didn't do that for them. And it's like, this is the kind of person that I feel like they want to feel like they know everything, they're the shiz, and it's like they actually seem to want somebody that they also think is the shiz, and I feel like they may see you that way, but you might not really like this person. I feel like you might see them as that kind of like conceited. It's almost like you may see their overconfidence or their conceit as insecurity. It's like they seem to try too hard with you. It's that energy of like when someone's trying to impress you and they're laughing too hard, they're looking, you know what I mean? It's like they're looking at you to make sure that you're laughing. You know what I mean? It's like they're just trying way too hard to impress you. So what's this person's true intent? They are terrified of getting their heart broken. Yeah. So that insecurity that you're seeing, I feel like this person, it's like they might be laughing, but there's a lot of pain behind that laugh. I feel like they have been used a lot. And I mean, it could be because they, I feel like them putting all of that importance on stuff isn't often, it's like, it's not coming from them. It's like maybe they saw, an example of somebody that got everything that they wanted, but used things or, financial whatever to get it. And I feel like this person has kind of followed that roadmap, but it's actually led them to feel really empty. It's almost this energy of like, it's one of those moments where it's like you just want to throw everything out the window and go find yourself. You know what I mean? It's like the, I almost want to say like when food turns to ash in your mouth, or when this gold cup and all these beautiful clothes just, it's like they're not worth anything to this person. That may be why they're looking for you. I almost want to say, let me explain this a little bit. I want to say that they're looking for someone to save them, but wait. It's not quite that like they're looking for a savior. It's like they're looking for someone, anyone, to show them that there's people out there that don't just need stuff to be around. You know what I mean? So it's not that they're looking for you to come in and save them. They just need to know that there's, oh, I'm going to cry. They need to know that there's at least one authentic person out there that isn't going to just look at their stuff. And I feel like when they find that person, it's the energy of like, this one will do anything for them. You know what I mean? It's like when this person really sees that someone's there for them, that they're invested in them, it's like whatever abundance they have, they would kind of shower it on that person. But because they've been, it's like, I want to say backstabbed, but part of me is like they've been stabbed in the heart a little bit, actually. I say a little bit. I actually feel like it's been a lot, and it's almost kind of calloused, and I feel to a certain extent, it's like, aw, look at this. Aw, look, aw. I feel bad for this person. It's like, let me put it to you this way, Sag. Imagine growing up in a situation, in a life, where you're only as good as what you have. And that's not just with other people. It's also with your family. It's also with, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's almost that energy of like the poor little rich kid kind of thing. And I feel to a certain extent they have become jaded, but there is something in there that hasn't given up. Because the Three of Wands talks about waiting for your ships to come in. And then we have the Ace of Cups here, right? So I do want to say, and not that you are superficial at all, or I feel like this person wouldn't really be attracted to you, it's like they seem to really enjoy your company because they know you can't be bought. And I feel to a certain extent that it's like this actually may start out as a friendship. I feel like they might not even have romantic intentions for you at first. And I feel like you're going to see it in this person that they need someone that isn't there for their stuff. And it's almost like they may offer you something, and it's like you can see that this person's like given up by offering you that. And of course it's up to you if you're going to take it or not. I feel like instead of, taking that thing or rejecting it, it's like instead of being like, yeah, I'll take that, or no, I don't want that. If you want this person, if you want to help this person, I feel like the best thing is to go and sit next to them and just be like, maybe put that away for now. Just talk to me. It's like this person doesn't have anybody that actually gives a what they want to say or how they feel. I feel like they haven't had a decent human connection in a very, very long time. So, we're going to pull a card for those of you with Venus in Sagittarius. Wow, look at this. So we have the Fool here, and then we have the World with the Death card. Lots of big energy here, right? The Tower, okay. Okay. So, I feel like this person may present as somebody that's really funny, but it's like they may be somebody that is actually really maybe they're into astrology. I feel like they're used to people looking at them as some sort of fool. Not that they are, or that they feel that they are. It's like maybe this person is another Sag, or they have Sag in their chart somewhere. But it's like they seem to feel very misunderstood. It feels like this is the kind of person that like they try to start having real conversations. Oh darn, I forgot to do the the timestamp again. So I feel like this is somebody that they're used to people misunderstanding them, and it's like they seem to actually want to excuse me, not want to, but they're actually like dropping these truth bombs. And just to let you guys know, I've been spelling a lot of words and will continue to do so just because of the some of the restrictions on YouTube now. But anyway, so people really underestimate this person, and I feel like they try to tell people what's really going on with them, but they do it in a way that nobody takes them seriously. And so it just kind of, it's turned into this thing, right? So it's like they seem to be hurting themselves with the way that they're doing things. It's like, it's almost like they keep putting themselves out there, but I feel like they actually keep hurting themselves by doing that, because it feels like it's kind of the energy of somebody that it's like, it feels to a certain extent they need to do a bit of work on themselves. I feel like it might not be a long-term connection depending on where this person is in their journey, right? It's like if they have a lot of work to do, it might not really be something that, it's like you might talk to this person for a bit and then all of a sudden they go on like radio silence or something. Excuse me. And it's like all of a sudden, somebody that was very animated, it's like they're frozen in time. But it's like, excuse me, it's one of those things where like, they know that you can see them. But it's like, they seem to be pushing you away because part of them feels that like, it's easier to be alone, but they're desperate to not be alone. Just gonna make sure the deck is upright. So I think we're gonna get, what this person truly wants and some advice for you. So what does this person truly want? Sag. Nine of Pentacles, Temperance, and the Eight of Wands. They feel safer in the silence. It's a shame, okay? Because I actually feel that like this person doesn't want to be in the silence. They want a connection. But I feel like they've been stuck there for so long that it's like if somebody even freaking talked to them, they wouldn't know how to talk back. And not that they wouldn't know how to talk or anything, but it's like they forgot that it could feel good to be vulnerable. And I feel to a certain extent that it's like they're hurting so much they just might not be able to open up right now. They don't want to be single. But I feel like it's almost like there's so much pain, the tears are blinding their vision. You know what I mean? Which is absolutely heartbreaking. Wish I could give this person a hug. They're really hurting. Some advice for those with their Venus and Sag. Advice for Venus. Advice. I got stuck on the cards there. Sorry. Advice. Well, look at this. Okay. So we have the Two of Cups here. I feel like if you want this person, I mean, obviously let them know that you're an option, right? I actually feel like we're going to get a clarifier on that because I don't want to say the wrong thing, all right? So I feel like to a certain extent, it's like this person kind of needs to know that somebody sees them. Excuse me, that they're not just an option. I feel like this is somebody that like, they might not do the dating, the typical, of course, depending on where you are in the world and your culture. Some cultures will, it's like as soon as you date, you're exclusive. Other cultures, you can date different people for a while and then, if excuse me, if at some point if at some point you and another person want to be exclusive, then that's a discussion that needs to be had, right? So of course, depending on that, this person doesn't want to be in a position where they feel they have to compete because they feel like they'll never win. So it's like, if you want this person, the message here is to, not to the extent that, you're putting a Band-Aid over somebody's scars that need to be healed by them, right? But I feel like if you kind of allow this person to see that it's like, that actually they are the person that you want, You know what I mean? That you're not really interested in a whole lot of other people. And not to the extent that, like, you know, you're going to sit around, excuse me, I want to say, like, I don't think I've ever said this, knitting or crocheting at home, or like, or baking cookies or something like that, which, like, hey, there's nothing wrong with cookies. Sorry. Letting this person know that, like, you're not going to sit around and wait forever, but you are really interested in them. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that it's like this person hasn't really felt special to anybody. So I feel like for them, if you want them, right? There's this message here that if you let them know that, like, actually they're the only person that you're interested in, I feel like they're going to get this intuitive hit of, like, drop the shiz and go, you know what I mean? And not run away from you. Excuse me. It's like, drop the shiz and go get Sag. Because I feel like that seems to be a signal to them intuitively that it's like, this is the person. And I do want to say, okay, Sag, because at the end of the day, it's up to the two of you, right? If it's the one. So I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh yeah, I can see that this is the person that you're going to, you know, that you're going to marry, that you're going to do this. Excuse me. Because at the end of the day, that's the decision for you two to make. What I do see is that whatever happens between the two of you, I feel like this person it's like you kind of have proved to them. I'm not saying it's going to be temporary or anything, that the relationship will be temporary. I feel like you show them that there are other people like them in the world. So, excuse me, I think I'll leave it there, Sag. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy to have you here, and I appreciate you guys so much. So if you would like a private reading with me, my email is below in the description box. I do have some kind of a Valentine's Day read coming out next week, so please keep an eye out for that. If you're new here, I upload on Thursdays and Sundays, and we will see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.